The ninjas in the book Bingo are the most dangerous characters there are, being sought after by the villages and having a financial reward for their villages and having a fine are Nukenins. But some names in the Bingo book are not villains. Many of these characters are known for their deeds and others for their power. Are you confused? Want to understand everything about the ninjas in the Bingo book and how it works? Come with me and I will reveal everything. There are some characters that I doubt you would even think of to be in this book of wanted people. Welcome to the Nerdficando channel. In Naruto, the Bingo book is mainly used to catalog the most dangerous ninjas of all, or Nukenin. Usually only villains or deserters, the Nukenins, are in this book, but actually any ninja can be in the Bingo book, including heroes. Because each village has its own Bingo book, where the leaders of each village can add the name of any threat to the village in this book, including characters that we fans like. In this way, the Ambu of each village are responsible for capturing and eliminating these ninjas, and they also put a bounty on the heads of those names that are in the book. But who really is in these books? And especially, who are the most powerful? That's what you'll see now. Hidan. Of all the Akatsuki members, Hidan is certainly one of the most powerful and sought after in the Bingo book. Hidan is originally from the hidden village of Hot Springs. He left his home village after a series of conflicts. Hidan was angry with his village and how things were going on there. So Hidan literally killed all his neighbors before leaving his village. It was after this that he met the religion Jashin, which literally aims to kill and destroy everything. With this, Hidan started to kill many people using the powers that the god Jashin gave him. That's why Hidan entered the Bingo book, because besides being a Nukenin he was very powerful, and that's why he joined Akatsuki. As a ninja, Hidan mainly uses the powers that his religion grants him, which literally makes him immortal and immune to any injury. Even if he is pierced or has his head torn off his body, he will stay alive. This is one of the many reasons that makes Hidan so dangerous, because besides being immortal, he is extremely sadistic and cruel, because for him killing is his main fun and the Jashin ritual is his main power, which is only possible after Hidan gets the blood of his victims, which is why he uses a huge weapon. After getting the blood of his victims, Hidan forms the Jashin symbol on the ground and somehow unites his body with his victims. At this stage, any injury Hidan does to his body will also affect his victim. But unlike his enemies, Hidan is immortal, because when he sticks his blade into his own heart or any part of his body, his victims literally suffer the same injury and die. Hidan is one of the most wanted ninjas in the Bingo book. Compared to other characters, he is not that powerful, but still it is not a good idea to take him on. Uchiha Itachi. Of all the characters that are in the Bingo book, Itachi is certainly at the top of the list, because not only is he absolutely powerful, but the reason that made him into the Bingo book shocked every ninja world. Itachi has always been amused between his responsibilities to Konoha and his duties to the Uchiha clan, which led him to be a double spy during the troubles between Konoha and the Uchiha clan. But at one point this instability reached a critical point, because if the Uchiha clan were to strike a blow, it would result in a civil war in Konoha, which would obviously cause a lot of deaths and a ninja war. That's why Itachi killed his entire clan. After that, Itachi joined Akatsuki as a spy, but he also became a Nukenin and one of the most wanted ninjas in the Bingo book. Even though he had a serious illness and little chakra, Itachi was a frighteningly powerful ninja. Because he can easily put his enemies into genjutsu, just by using the normal Sharingan he was able to defeat Orochimaru with a paralyzing jutsu. Itachi's genjutsu abilities are so impressive that he can manipulate even time. This is possible when he makes use of his powerful Tsukuyami, which is an ability that allows Itachi to cause serious damage to the minds of his enemies, making seconds seem like days. But it's not only genjutsu that Itachi lives on. He can also use the most powerful fire technique in the work, the Amaterasu, that literally burns its target until it turns into nothing. But without a doubt, Itachi's greatest power is his Susanoo, which stands out greatly for having two special weapons, the Totsuka sword and the Yata mirror. The Totsuka sword allows Itachi to seal any target he cuts into a world of genjutsu, while the Yata mirror can reflect any attack. thanks to its ability to adapt to any attack. Deidara. Deidara is another crazy yet powerful character. He was a ninja from the hidden village of Stone and one of the greatest prodigies of his country. Deidara was trained by the most powerful ninja of his village, the Tsuchikage himself, Inoki. He was born with a rare Kekkai Genkai that made Deidara such a strong ninja that made him a source of pride for Inoki. But unfortunately he was always very greedy, and at one point Deidara stole a forbidden jutsu from the village which allowed its user to need chakra. This is how Deidara probably got mouths on his hands and chest. In this way, he combined his Kekkai Genkai with this forbidden jutsu, and became a criminal. This is how Deidara entered the bingo book and one of the Akatsuki's greatest Nukenins. After becoming a Nukenin, Deidara's power levels got higher and higher. He was honing his powers with clay and forming more and more powerful jutsu. As an example, we have his C2, which allows Deidara to even a giant dragon, as well as dolls that can be multiplied. And he is still an extremely intelligent ninja, which is not so evident due to the fact that he is a complete nutcase, but it's true, he literally managed to create a strategy that fooled Gaara. Besides the fact that he has the power to destroy an entire village. And as if that wasn't enough, Deidara can disintegrate people using his C4, one of his strongest skills, second only to his C0, which is a skill that causes an explosion that extends for 10 kilometers. It was because of all these absurd abilities that Deidara was such a sought-after and prominent ninja in the bingo book. Orochimaru. Of all the characters on this list, Orochimaru is undoubtedly one of the dangerous ones. He is a former elite Konoha ninja who committed several frightening crimes in order to discover all the jutsu in the world and achieve immortality. One of these experiments was related to Hashirama's cells, which Orochimaru used to try to bring back the wood style. However, for this Orochimaru literally kidnapped 60 babies and experimented on them, and tragically they died because they could not withstand Hashirama's power. He was also involved in several kidnappings of ninjas in Konoha. But at one point Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Hokage, discovered all of Orochimaru's crimes, but unfortunately Hiruzen could not stop Orochimaru. After this, Orochimaru became a Nukenin and one of the most wanted ninjas in Konoha, being considered an extremely cruel criminal. This is how Orochimaru ended up in Konoha's bingo book. After Orochimaru became a Nukenin, he increased his powers absurdly. He can use all the transformations of nature easily, and he is known to know several different techniques. One of these techniques is the jutsu that makes him immortal, which consists of literally transferring his own soul to a stronger body. By doing this he always becomes immortal in a way. Furthermore, Orochimaru can literally spit out a new version of himself if he suffers any injury. That's why it's so hard to defeat him. And as if that wasn't enough, he can easily reconnect his body with snakes, as shown in his fight against Naruto. And as if he wasn't powerful enough, Orochimaru still has a regeneration so great that it allows him to regenerate entire limbs, plus he has access to the wise snake mode. But without a doubt the jutsu that makes Orochimaru most dangerous is Edo Tensei, which allows Orochimaru to revive and control dead ninjas. He has already summoned the 4 Hokage from the past and can easily bring back to life several ninjas from the past. And let's face it, fighting an army of the strongest ninjas in history is not a good idea. And for these reasons Orochimaru is one of the most powerful ninjas in the bingo book. Uchiha Sasuke. The character that surprised everyone the most entering the bingo book was Sasuke. This is because he was one of the main characters and a friend of Naruto. But after his frustration for his lack of power, he decided to leave Konoha and allied with Orochimaru. It was at this moment that Sasuke gained the mark of the curse and increased his powers. Not even Naruto using everything he had could stop Sasuke. And after that things only got worse, because after his training with Orochimaru ended, Sasuke killed him and formed his own group of criminals. Sasuke literally became a Nukenin and joined the bingo book of Konoha. He even joined Akatsuki and attacked Killer Bee, and as if that wasn't enough, Sasuke invaded the meeting of the 5 Kage and went out fighting with everyone. Catching is the most correct word. He even got to kill Danzo and almost killed Sakura. Because of all these crimes he became one of the most wanted ninjas of Konoha, and his powers increased a lot. Starting with the fact that he has the Amaterasu. With this technique, Sasuke was able to hurt even the Hachibi, and he has total control over these flames. After awakening these powers, Sasuke also gained the powerful Susanoo, which in Sasuke's case has a sword and bow and arrow. He can combine this ability with his Amaterasu, being able to create an extra defense for the Susanoo or arrow. But Sasuke has much more power than that, starting with Chidori, which he can use several variations of, and his Genjutsu. Just with these abilities, Sasuke could already be in first place in the Konoha Bingo book, but he managed to increase his abilities even more after gaining the Rinnegan. This Jujutsu gave Sasuke several different powers, such as the Amenoto Jikura and Pain's 6-way techniques, which he has already used 2 ways. He even managed to trap all 9 Bijou in a Genjutsu and absorb their chakra, using his Susanoo as a receptacle. This transformation of Sasuke is so strong that he can easily destroy an entire village, and have his attacks felt in other countries. Konoha was very lucky that Sasuke came back to their side, because otherwise they would be screwed. And remember, there are 2 at the end who are famous, not villains, and I doubt you know who I'm talking about. Hoshigaki Kisame. Kisame is one of the most dangerous and wanted Nukenins of all time. He is a former ninja from the village of Fog who worked in the secret intelligence squad. Kisame had his master, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, Fuguki Suikazan. At one point, Kisame received a special mission to protect his teammates, and mainly, the village secrets, but unfortunately it all went wrong. Kisame and his group were cornered by Konoha. It was at this point that Kisame literally killed all his teammates, so that the village secrets would not leak out. After returning from his mission, Kisame even killed his own master and stole his sword, the Samahata. After this, Kisame started to not trust his village anymore, and also at this time he discovered that Madara was manipulating Yagura. It was here that Kisame joined Akatsuki and knew their plan, and also that he became one of the most wanted Nukenin of his village with top priority in the Bingo book. As a ninja, Kisame is the owner of an overwhelming strength. He is literally known as the Bijou without a tail. This is due to his absurd chakra reserves, which only increased over the years thanks to Samahata, who has the ability to absorb ninjutsu and chakra, and in an impressive way, give this chakra to Kisame himself. This sword of Kisame's has its own consciousness and stands out both for its special abilities and its absurd cutting power. Besides these abilities, Kisame's main element is the water style, which he can use water in many different ways, such as the ability to create water prison dragons and huge waves, as well as many other techniques. Kisame to this day is one of the best users of the water style in history. But the biggest reason Kisame is such a powerful ninja is in his final transformation, which is possible after fusing with Samahata and creating a giant bubble. At this stage, he takes on a shark-like appearance and increases all his physical attributes, especially his strength and speed. Momochi Zabuza. Zabuza's story is one of the most gruesome of all. During one period in the village of Mist, the final graduation test involves students killing each other, and Zabuza as a child ended up with about 100 students. Because of this, the tradition came to an end in the village and Zabuza became known as the Demon of the Hidden Mist. For a long time, Zabuza was one of the village's Umbu hunters, working mostly on secret missions. After this, Zabuza became one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, and in this period he met Haku, a boy with the Ice Kekii Genkai. Quickly Zabuza started training him to be his ultimate weapon. After this, Zabuza literally tried to kill the 4th Mizukage, Yagura, but obviously this didn't work out, because Yagura is far superior to Zabuza. Thus, Zabuza's coup failed miserably and he fled with Haku. After that he became a Nukenin and joined the Bingo book, living as a mercenary. Zabuza Momochi is one of the deadliest ninjas in the Bingo book, due to his assassination techniques. Zabuza mainly used his sword Kubakira Bosho, an oversized sword made specifically for beheading his enemies. This sword has the ability to absorb the blood of his victims and use it to recover. It is Zabuza's main weapon. Besides these abilities, Zabuza uses several water-style techniques, such as the Big Waterfall, which is a technique that creates a giant waterfall that has an absurd speed. It was by this technique that Zabuza was defeated after Kakashi copied it. Besides these abilities, he also knows how to make water clones and mainly the hiding in the mist, which is an ability that allows Zabuza to hide in the mist and become almost invisible. This is an extremely dangerous jutsu, because with it Zabuza could kill his enemies without them noticing. Sasori. Sasori is still one of the greatest geniuses of the hidden village of sand. He lost his parents when he was a child, and during a mission, Hatake Tsukumo killed them. After this, Sasori fell into a deep loneliness, and because of this, his grandmother Chiyo taught him how to create chakra-controlled puppets. Sasori quickly became a prodigy in this area, having created several famous puppets, such as the ones used by Kankuro, but despite this, Sasori's insanity increased a lot with time. He literally started turning parts of his friends into puppets, and with time, created a forbidden jutsu that turned people into puppets after killing them. It was because of this that Sasori killed the third Kazekage, to literally turn him into a weapon and use all his techniques. Even before that, Sasori was already known worldwide, due to his performance in the Third Great Ninja War that earned him the name of Sasori of the Red Sand because of the many deaths caused by him. After leaving the village, Sasori joined Akatsuki and became a Nukenin, thus entering the Bingo Book. He is one of the most wanted names in the Bingo Book because his powers, fame and crimes were never forgotten by the hidden village of sand, and not for less, he is a ninja with several powers that make him exactly powerful. His main ability obviously are his puppets. One of these puppets is the Hirako, the most used by him to move around. He had several weapons, which makes him lethal to less strong enemies. But without a doubt his most powerful puppet is the third Kazekage, because with this puppet Sasori can use the Iron Sand, which is an absurdly powerful ability and allows Sasori to basically make any weapon he wants. This puppet still has several weapons and a poison that only Sakura was able to create a cure. And if that wasn't enough, Sasori also transformed his own body into a human marionette, concentrating all his human parts in a cylinder. In this way, Sasori created in his own body a huge amount of weapons and poisons. At this stage, Sasori can also manipulate 100 puppets at the same time. It was because of all these abilities that Sasori entered the Bingo Book and became so strong. Namikaze Minato. This one I doubt you knew. Minato is a character who is not a villain, but is still in the Bingo Book from several villages, because he posed a huge threat to any enemy in his time, so much so that his enemies literally had permission from their villages to flee if they encountered him. And let's face it, this shows not only the threat Minato was, but also his unusual power level. Using Hiration, he could easily defeat several enemies at once by making use of his teleportation. In addition, Minato created his own jutsu by observing a Bijidama, the Rasengan, which is a technique that when combined with Hiration, made Minato almost invincible to most of his enemies. Obito knows this well, and as if that wasn't, Minato mastered several sealing techniques, like the Death Reaper and the 8 trigram seal, used to seal Kurama on Naruto. Minato was a character who could defend himself even from Bijidama, and let's face it, most characters would die in this scenario. That's why Minato was in the Bingo Book. Hatake Kakashi. And this one, did you know? Kakashi is also in the Bingo Book. This was revealed in Naruto Classic, where Zabuza said that Kakashi was in the Bingo Book of his village, and there are several reasons for him to be considered so dangerous as to be in the Bingo Book. Starting with the fact that he had Obito's Sharingan for a long time, and with it Kakashi copied many different techniques, supposedly over 1,000 jutsus, and he can literally all those techniques, plus he has all the transformations of nature. Furthermore, during a period of Kakashi's life he became extremely cruel to his enemies, due to the various traumas of his life, which motivated Kakashi to kill many ninjas using the Chidori and various other techniques. He over the years was called by 2 different names, Kakashi of the Sharingan and Cold-Blooded Kakashi, and these 2 names make it clear why Kakashi is so feared to the point of being in the book Bingo of the Village of the Mist. As a ninja, Kakashi has several resources that make him so powerful. Starting with his Chidori, which is a perfect technique for assassination due to its speed and destructive power. But besides that, Kakashi can use all the transformations of nature, because of the jutsu he copied, such as the Fireball Jutsu, Water Style Jutsu, the Rasengan created by Minato and more. Kakashi also has the Sharingan, which allows him to see the chakra network of his enemies, as well as predict movements and copy jutsu. And as if that wasn't enough, Kakashi is known for being a genius, which allows him to defeat several characters. In addition, Kakashi also has Kamui, which took him to another level. Due to this, Kakashi became world famous and feared. Did you understand why he is in the Bingo Book? Indeed, the characters that are in the Bingo Book are absurdly powerful. But you are much more powerful because you are subscribed to the channel and you have activated the notifications. 2 videos are playing on the screen, watch them both, I guarantee you will like them. See you in the next videos.